Stop scrolling because UFC 324 just took a wild turn. Nobody expected Kayla Harrison is out. Amanda Nunes has no opponent. And now a boxing legend just raised her hand and said, I want Amanda Nunes. Not someday, not hypothetically. Right now. This isn't fantasy matchmaking. This is Amanda Serrano, one of the greatest fighters on the planet, ready to step into the Octagon on days' notice. And yes, she's dead serious.
I had to have surgery on my neck yesterday here in New York City with the specialist, Dr. Kim. Yeah, so in lieu of that, obviously we're going to have to reschedule the fight. And I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Amanda.
Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes was supposed to be the biggest women's fight in UFC history, but it's officially off. Kayla Harrison suffered a serious neck injury, required surgery, and the fight has been postponed. The UFC says they plan to reschedule when Kayla is healthy, but Amanda Nunes already came out of retirement. She was already locked in, already preparing for UFC 324. So the question became, does Amanda Nunes wait, or does the UFC find a replacement? That's when Amanda Serrano entered the picture.
I love this sport. I love to fight. I love challenges, and this is a big challenge, but I'm up for it. I'm all in. Champion. She's an amazing fighter, amazing person. That's not what I do. I don't do call outs disrespectful. I'm just, like I said, I'm a fighter. I'm up for the challenge, and let's do it.
Amanda Serrano didn't hesitate. She told TMZ Sports, I'm up for the challenge. I'm always up for the challenge. She called Amanda Nunes a great champion, a great fighter. But she made one thing very clear. She's not afraid. Serrano reminded fans of something most people forget. She's not just a boxer.
8 days away, 9 days away. Could you be ready? Are you in the shape physically?
Critics immediately said the obvious. This is MMA. This isn't boxing. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. Serrano's response? Cold, calm, confident. She said, listen, I'm undefeated. I have 3 MMA fights. Amanda Serrano is 2-0-1 in MMA. Her last MMA fight was in June 2021, a submission win, her other MMA victory. Also, a rear naked choke. She still trains MMA, still throws kicks, still drills sprawls, still works wrestling weekly with her high school wrestler nephew. This isn't a celebrity call-out. This is a fighter saying, I'm ready. UFC 324 is only days away, so can Serrano really be prepared? Her answer shocked everyone. She said, I just fought. January 3rd, I was in amazing shape. She took 2 days off, then went right back to the gym. No long layoffs, no excuses. Just this, I love to fight, I love challenges, and I'm all in. That's not promotion, that's mentality. Let's be real. Amanda Nunes versus Amanda Serrano would be a boxer versus a GOAT. A massive crossover fight, a last-minute chaos matchup. One of the most talked about women's fights ever. The UFC says they'll wait for Kayla Harrison. But if Amanda Nunes wants to fight at UFC 324, Amanda Serrano says, I'm ready to rock and roll. So now the question is simple. What do you say? UFC comment below Serrano. If courage shocks the world, Nunes. If the GOAT reminds everyone who she is. Because sometimes the most dangerous fights are the ones nobody planned.
I'm mad at you, DC. You're saying that my work doesn't warrant it. I'm the first ever woman to win the Ultimate Fighter. I've torn 4 out of 5 ligaments in my knee and came back from that. Actually, both knees. I gave birth and had a baby and came back from that. I have been clawing and scratching my way up to the top and been in this division since 2013 when they first allowed women to join the UFC. And, I did everything that I said I was going to do leading up to that fight. DC, you've had 10 title fights, bro. Like, why are you hating on me for wanting to get a trilogy?
Super grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I am excited. I am ready. And tomorrow night is going to be fireworks. Don't forget to get your popcorn. Sorry, excuse me.
Good luck to you, ma'am.
Juliana Pena still thinks she deserves a trilogy with the greatest female fighter of all time, Amanda Nunes. After pulling out of UFC 289 after getting her arm nearly snapped by Kayla Harrison, Pena isn't backing down. She's making one last desperate plea to complete the most unlikely trilogy in UFC history. But is it confidence or complete delusion?
Haven't had many, I just know where I stand. The champ, Amanda, doesn't have a fight, and former champ, soon to be, and new champ does not have a fight. So I feel like that's the only fight to make. That's the only fight that makes sense for me. And that's the only fight that I see in my future. They're making Brandon Figueiredo versus Moreno for Pete's sake, I feel like I finished her the first time. I ran out of time the second time, and I allowed her that opportunity to make those adjustments and to go back and change those things in that camp in the rematch. I absolutely feel like, the kosher thing to do would allow me to make the same adjustment.
You see that gigantic right hand that she's knocking everybody out with, that's fluff. You just go right into it, and that's not something that normal people are like, okay, I can't wait. It's like, that's scary. That's a scary reality that you're going to know that you have to go take that head on, eat it like it's a Scooby snack, and keep coming forward. And not a lot of people are built that way. I am built that way. I'm not the type of fighter to retreat. I am the wall that gets bashed up against when it's time to meet that fire with fire, and I will not retreat.
She got dominated again, tapped out, humiliated, and yet somehow Juliana Pena still thinks she deserves a trilogy with the greatest female fighter of all time, Amanda Nunes. After pulling out of UFC 289 after getting her arm nearly snapped by Kayla Harrison, Pena isn't backing down. She's making one last desperate plea to complete the most unlikely trilogy in UFC history. But is it confidence or complete delusion? Ever since Pena shocked the world at UFC 269 and submitted Amanda Nunes, she's been obsessed with the idea of a trilogy, but when the rematch came, it was a massacre. Nunes ragdolled Pena for 5 brutal rounds. Then, just when the trilogy was set for UFC 289, Pena pulled out. Nunes took on Irene Aldana instead and retired on top, but Pena didn't let it go. Even with Nunes walking off into the sunset, Juliana kept chirping, kept pushing, kept dreaming of that final dance. Then came UFC 316. Pena finally got her chance, not at Amanda, but at the woman. Nunes said she'd return for Kayla Harrison, and it went from bad to worse. Kayla didn't just win, she submitted Pena a brutal Kimura at 322 of round 1. The same woman who called herself the real champ got shut down by a UFC rookie. And yet, she's still talking title shots, still gunning for the GOAT?
Apenas quero agradecer ao meu Senhor Jesus Cristo, amo vocês, Deus abençoe a América, Estados Unidos.
Now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here. So I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass stint. It was all organic. None of that was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the Octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So yes.
Nunes saw it all and she laughed. The Lioness didn't even flinch because to her this was never about Pena. This comeback? It's about Kayla Harrison, a true Olympian, a real threat, and Dana White knows it. Kayla versus Nunes is the money fight Pena. She's not even in the conversation anymore. Still, Pena isn't done. After getting smoked by Kayla, she still had the nerve to call out the Nunes-Harrison winner. Why? Because in her mind, she's still the woman who submitted the Lioness, but in reality, that was one flash of glory in a sea of beatdowns. And now, after injuries, missed opportunities, and another submission loss, her credibility is in shambles. So here's the truth. The UFC doesn't need Juliana Pena anymore. Not when Nunes versus Harrison is right there. Not when Pena's own performance proves she's not the top dog. She had her shot. She shocked the world. But now, she's just chasing ghosts. Do you think Pena deserves the trilogy, or is she clinging to a fantasy? Drop your take in the comments, subscribe for more fight chaos, and buckle up, because Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison is the real main event.
Two-rank bantamweight contender, Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison attempting to make, I should say, let's give it a few seconds here, making 135. There it is, 135.0 for the first time in her career. I mean, that right there is the first most important thing for her to have success.
Amanda, who do you got this weekend, and who would you rather fight after the fight's over?
I have Kayla by decision, and honestly, I'm a champion, you know? Either one, I'm gonna be ready for.
You were talking about how if Kayla Harrison wins, you would come back and fight her. If Juliana wins, would you still come back and entertain a third fight with her?
Definitely. I miss you so much. My baby's big now, so she always sleep at night. We have trouble at home, so I was very concerned about that because we need sleep as a fighter. We need sleep. We need rest. And now my baby's big, and I'm ready to go. Kayla or Juliana, I'm gonna be ready. Actually, I'm ready to stay here. So we're gonna take the belt back. I'm gonna defend as long as possible. As long as my body can handle, I'm gonna be here.
Okay.
So let's go.
John?
Now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here. So I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass stand. It was all organic. None of that was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the Octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So yes.
Kayla Harrison called her out. Amanda Nunes stared her down. Dana White teased it. But now the mega fight might be dead. Kayla Harrison is ready to fight right now. Amanda Nunes is already back in the testing pool. But the UFC just told both of them, no fight unless you play by the rules. And here's the twist. Those rules, they can be bought off for a small fee. At least that's what Kayla said. But now it looks like Dana White refused. And the question is, why? Today we break down the beef, the testing pool controversy, and whether Amanda Nunes is making a huge mistake by coming back at all.
Kayla, there she is.
What's up, guys?
Are we any closer to you versus Amanda?
Soon.
Soon. What, you think Madison Square Garden in New York or?
Maybe, if she's ready.
So is Amanda back in the testing pool?
I think so. I think she just got tested.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, well, you're the go, and it was nice talking to you. Thank you.
At UFC 318, Kayla Harrison didn't just win the belt. She hijacked the entire division. She made it crystal clear, I don't care about the 6-month testing wait. I'll pay the fee. Let's fight now. But here's the catch. The UFC isn't under USADA anymore. They've got their own program now. And Dana White, he could have bent the rules, but he didn't.
And just wondering if you saw Amanda Nunes' reaction.
I did. I like it. I thought she retired too soon anyway. I like that she's intrigued by this fight. I love it. I think she's the GOAT in all combat sports, female. So if Kayla can get in there and win a title, it would absolutely be fun to see her come back and try to grab it again. And then it's one of those things, and she's brilliant. She's brilliant for this because she's already looked at as the GOAT, right? And then you have this scary new woman that comes in and she destroys Holly Holm. Can she win the title? Can she get through Pena and Raquel? And if she does, for her to come back again and then possibly win this fight, it's impossible to deny her.
He was tempted, but someone, maybe the lawyers, maybe the money guys, said no.
135, the official weight for the champion Amanda Nunes. 135 pounds, the official weight for Irene Aldana.
Amanda Nunes retired at the top, double champ, on her own terms. But now she's back in the testing pool. She's even passed her first drug test already, but don't celebrate yet. That means no fight until January 2026 unless she gets an exemption. And it looks like the UFC won't give her one. The dream fight with Kayla, delayed, maybe even denied. So why come back at all? Here's the part the UFC won't show you. After a year, I started having anxiety. I didn't want to be here. That's right. The lioness broke mentally. Retirement didn't free her. It destroyed her. She said she needed structure, needed purpose, but now she's risking her entire legacy just to feel normal again.